And this is Ricky Page and me looking at this ISSA shears. For the first time, I'm using both mics to my new microphone for my camera, and I'm getting no sound. And Ricky, this is his first day with us, and he's learning how to sharpen, and he's only been 2 hours there. And I'm just so sorry you can't hear his sweet voice. He's not going to like me calling him sweet, but I'm hoping you'll see more of him coming in. So let me tell you about the ISSA, and I'll explain it to Ricky, and I'm going to explain it to you. That's the International Scissor Sharpeners Association. And there's the certificate. I'm pointing to it on the wall. And then I'm going to get my card and show you you get a card. And this ISSA was started by a gentleman that came from Cyprus, and he wanted more credentials, and so we came up with the International Scissor Sharpeners Association. And you get a card, we have t-shirts, we have other things you can get with the logo, and whether you pass the certification or not, you're still a lifetime member. There's no dues. I'm still aggravated about the no sound here because I'm explaining now a little bit to Ricky about how he can pass the ISSA maybe after a few months of learning. He's going to be my intern at the office and help me out with some of the sharpening, and today he's helping me look at these shears that are coming from this sharpener. And there's Ricky with his nice smile. And I ask him how old he is, and he tells me he is 16 and that he plays football and that he's enjoying the sharpening, but maybe not as much as football. And these shears have been damaged by me. I dull them out a little bit. I put some nicks in them. And the main thing is I want to see if the convex is convex, the bevel is bevel, and if they cut. So they came in these little cute sterilized patch. These came in these little sterilized pouches. I think this person must be maybe a medical tool sharpener. He sent back our information on the Sharpener's Jam, and I'm pointing at the Sharpener's Jam here. And if you notice, I'm wearing my Sharpener's Jam t-shirt. Each year we have a event for the sharpeners, and I'm hoping you can come and join us. You can join us in person or online. So each of the people get a written test, and I'm going to look at this test and see if this person passed it. And I'm going to give Ricky a chance to answer some of these questions and see how he does. And no one fails because they fail my written test, but the written test will tell me a little bit about why maybe their shears don't cut like I'm expecting them to. Each one of them has a number, and the number on these shears is number 315704. And so he's taped them together with some tape. This is painter's tape, but it still has left like a gooey residue on the shears. I don't recommend doing that. If you need to make sure the shears don't open up and that you send them out safely, you can always tie the handles together, maybe with a string or ribbon. You can put a piece of tubing over the tip, like from a fish tank or oxygen, at the hospital. But even a rubber band wrapped around the tip will work. So I'm going through the questions on his test, and I'm asking Ricky some of the questions. So this gentleman actually missed 4 of the questions, and the ones he missed is number 1, what 3 key elements must be properly corrected for a shear to work correctly? The correct answer was tension, edge, and alignment, and he put in angle, out angle, and pivot. Actually, Ricky got that one. Look at the smile on his face, and he's only been doing this 2 hours. Number 2 was which area should receive the most pressure when creating the rideline? And number 315704 missed this one. He said the tip and the pivot. Ricky actually answered the same thing, but I had to explain to him it's the pivot area, because if you're not pressing on the pivot area, that shear is not flat. If you push on the tip, you're going to wipe out the tip. Number 7, this person missed, which is, and this is one that a lot of people miss. I'm explaining there where about the tip and where you push over the pivot area, because we had just covered doing the ride line with Ricky, and we're getting into that, and you see him making sure he understands that. We'll have Ricky on some more of these videos and speaking. So number 7 was missed by this person, and it's, what is the traditional cut test material to see if a shear will push hair? And the correct answer is hair. But both Ricky missed that and this person missed it. They put wet tissue because they see me cutting wet tissue. Wet tissue won't tell you if it's going to push hair, and as you watch the rest of this video, you'll see it proved in action. And number 9, this person missed that one as well. If the tip pulls tissue, and I'm marking the ones that are wrong here, you see me? So if the tip pulls tissue, what problem would be the easiest to fix? And he put down bad alignment. Bad alignment would be the hardest one to fix. Your choices are bad alignment, burr never established, no ride line, or burr not removed. And the easiest one would be burr not removed. In fact, all you would have to do if a burr hasn't been removed, sometimes just wipe it on your jeans. So that's the end of the written test, and next we're going to actually look at the shears themselves, because the other questions he's got right. So, yep. So let's look at these shears, and I'm going to ask Ricky to tell me which one's convex and which one's bevel. And I think he's already told me earlier, and he correctly identified the convex and the bevel. And the convex, it looks pretty good. It is true convex. I'm going to zoom in here. Zoom. This is like watching one of those home movies from way back when we had those Super 8 cameras and you didn't know what people were saying. It's kind of fun. You see I'm showing that gooey that was left behind there. That tape's just not a good idea. I'm saying tie it with a string or put a piece of tubing over the tip. You don't want to leave any residue behind on your shears. Sometimes you do in mail order, you want to make sure they're packaged safely, but tape is not the way to go. Even painter's tape. So I'm looking, and these are a nice convex edge. The shears come with a slight bevel on them, and he's gone in there and convexed them. I'm looking at the ride line. The ride line at first glance doesn't look that bad. You'll see a little later when we look at it a little closer. And then the bevel edge definitely does look like a bevel. I'm looking at it close here. Nice consistent angle all the way down. Now I'm going to flip them over and look at the other side, and I'm going to see, and I flip them over and look at the other side, I see that he's taken the serration off, but I see something really alarming here. Yeah, let me get this in the camera. You got to see this. This was very educational for Ricky. Look at the inside here. So that should not look that way. This is someone who has taken the shears apart, or maybe not even taken them apart, but he's tried to work the inside of this shear. This is a non-hone shear. That inside shouldn't have been worked at all, or if it was, just maybe very gently with a ceramic stone. But you see how it's created a real problem inside there. And then also, can you see how that blade is dark? I think he overheated the blade. There was just too much heat when he was sharpening. I'm not sure what his sharpening technique is, but definitely should have left the inside alone. But I'm not feeling any nicks. He's got all the nicks out. Just overdid the shears. He just did too much to them, trying to make them perfect. Really, all he should have done is pull up a burr and cut the burr off. Let's take a little look at how these shears cut now. So I'm coming in here, dry tissue, Pulling my thumb out, least pressure possible, and it cuts dry. Let's try the beveled edge. Pulling my thumb out, going through dry tissue, it cuts dry good. Okay, so far so good. I'm going to tear it off. And I'm going to squirt it with some water. Wet tissue catches things the dry tissue doesn't because it's so thin. So I'm pulling my thumb out, same thing, and cutting. And it's cutting the wet tissue. Keep that in mind when we get to the part when we cut hair. You'll see the difference. I'm cutting with the beveled edge. It cuts wet tissue. Keep that in mind. The wet tissue is not the ultimate test. So we'll see that in a little bit. So even though those those beveled edges were sharpened incorrectly, they cut wet tissue. But what are the hairstylists cutting? They're cutting hair. They're cutting hair. They're not cutting wet tissue. They're not cutting dry tissue. They're cutting hair. So what I'm doing here is I'm holding against white paper so you can see closer, and I'm going to show you that like there's no trick to this. Let me get this zoomed in here. Good. This is 100% human hair. I'm going to spread it out here so you can see well. Get this in line. And I'm going to cut, pulling my thumb out, and look at that pushing. That's just not cutting. That's pushing. I mean, it cuts some, yes, but it's a huge push. That's not acceptable. Let's see if it slide cuts. So I'm coming in here, slide cutting, and that's actually it's cutting, but it's more ripping. It's not a smooth slide cut. So kind of actually pulls the hair out at the top. So I'm not happy with the way they're cutting. So what's going on? Any nicks left? No, there's no nicks. What's the mystery? They adjusted right? Yeah, they're adjusted right. Why are they cutting? Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. These things aren't sharp. They've got like, it doesn't have a sharp edge to them. They're, I don't know if he rounded them off when he polished them, or he just did a very blunt edge to begin with. So at this point, I'm handing them to Ricky for Ricky to look at, and this is part of his education too. I'm having Ricky feel them with his thumb and showing him how to feel for the edge. And I'm telling him, don't cut yourself, but you're feeling like here, and it should catch like in the skin on your thumb. I'm going to go, I'm showing him both blades. Neither one of them are sharp. So I'm going to go grab a blade for him to have a comparison so he knows what it's supposed to feel like. It would give him a comparison for one that is dull and ready to be sharpened, but compared to this one. So I'm having him feel the edge on that shear that we were about to sharpen. And you'll see his thumb here, yeah. And he's like, oh yeah, I can feel the sharpness here. And then when he compares it to the other one, then he understands it just doesn't have a sharp edge. I mean, that's the whole thing with what makes a shear cut hair is you've got a sharp edge. Otherwise, it's going to push the hair. And that's what the problem is with those shears. And he may have set them at the right angle if he was using a clamp, but somehow he's rolled over that sharp edge. And because they look so pretty, I suspect that maybe he was overzealous at polishing them. I'm going to look at him a little bit closer here and see if I see anything else that might have caused that shear to push hair. I'm looking again at the Rideline. Oh, I missed this earlier. Ooh, looky here. I'm getting my magnifier out. Yeah, okay, I see another issue with these. Okay, Ricky, I want you to look at these. And you hold this magnifier, we call this the Magna Wand. We sell these, by the way. You hold this up to it, and then you bring the two up, and you're looking at the tip area. And I'm going to show you in a minute on the camera, so don't, be a little bit patient here. And you'll see what I'm talking about. Possibly he didn't take them apart when he did the inside, or this is like on this, remember on his test, he said the pressure should be at the pivot and the tip. He's put too much pressure at the tip, and that ride line, it's just not flat along the edge there at the tip. And I'm going to show you here on the magnifier myself. Here we go. I'm up here. Look, you see how it has a ride line on both? It's like the tip's sort of wide, and it's not flat. While I've got this magnifier out, I'm going to let you see what was going on the beveled edges. And it's sort of the same thing, but even worse. That's not supposed to look like this. So this person, let you look at the other blade here. Oh, yeah, that's crazy. Ride line on both sides. Less is more on a lot of these shears. So let's see how, we didn't check the beveled edge. Does it push hair? Let's find out what it does. Because it cut the wet tissue, remember? It cut the dry tissue. It might cut hair, who knows? Let's see. So my arm's in the way there. Okay. It's pushing too. You see that? Now, little push on scissors isn't bad, but that one, see, that tip's not cutting. And that has to do a lot with that ride line that he tried to put inside. That just makes it really slippery so that the hair pushes. So this person needs to redo these shears. In fact, I'm not going to send him the same shears back. I'm going to damage some more because I think these are probably beyond repair. These are good examples for Ricky to see some pitfalls in sharpening, and I want to send these back. I'd like him to resharpen them, watch some more of my videos, understand a little bit better about the ride line and the inside of the blade, and not polishing over the edge, and making sure the shears are good and sharp. So these are going back. He's still a member of the ISSA for a lifetime, but he's not certified. So I'm going to box these up and send them back. And at this time, I'm going to turn the camera on Ricky, and Ricky is going to tell you, hi Ricky. He's going to say, please sure to like and subscribe and comment and all those things for this channel. And I promise you, put in there you want to see more of Ricky, and if you want to hear more from Ricky. So this video I think might be helpful to you, even though the sound is gone. And if you want to try the ISSA, go for it. But I would watch a few more videos and do a little bit more practice, so that we can do this in one shot next time someone sends me shears to be tested for the ISSA. And Ricky's going to do it soon, he says. Yep, he's going to try it. So what's your thoughts about the International Scissor Sharpeners Association? Is this ISSA certification, is it a walk in the park, or is it a little more difficult? Let's see what you can do. If you want to be certified, if you want to join the ISSA, it's for those that are certified. It's more than just a piece of paper. It's more than just an ID card. So links below is going to tell you how to be a part of the ISSA, and also to get your swag and your merchandise. If you're ready to take your sharpening skills to the next level, I've got you covered, whether it's a certification or upgrading your equipment or getting some more sharpening training. That's what we're about. So call the red-headed sharpening lady, Bonnie at Bonica Shears. And remember, stay sharp, my friends.